Hello everyone. In today's video, we'll discuss about three types of land revenue of British India. First is permanent settlement, the second is called Ryotwari, and the third Mahalwari settlement. So let's start. So we'll first discuss about permanent settlement, which is also called Zamindari Bandobast. It was introduced by Lord Cornwallis in the area of Bengal, and later it was extended to Odisha and Madras, and also to some area of Varanasi, and it covered around 19% area of British India. Now we'll look into some of the important provision of permanent settlement. So first we'll know why it is also called Zamindari Bandobast. It is called Zamindari Bandobast because the revenue collection right was negotiated between Zamindar and the British authority. And the second, it is called permanent settlement because annual revenue collection was permanently fixed. There was no provision for changes in the revenue. And what was the sharing mechanism of revenue between the Zamindar and the British? That is 1/11 with the Zamindar and the rest part with the British authority. That is approx 9% lies with the Zamindar and the rest 91% with British authority. Land ownership right was with the Zamindar, but the ultimate control over the land is of British authority. There was a sunset clause, which means that the sunset clause include there was a prefixed date of revenue submission to British authority. If Zamindar failed to pay, then the land ownership right was snatched from Zamindar. So in simple words, we can conclude that sunset clause include the provision, that is, there is a prefixed date of revenue submission to the British authority by Zamindar. If Zamindar failed to submit the revenue by that particular day, then their land ownership right was snatched by British authority. For example, if the 5th of the day of every month was chosen as a revenue submission date, if Zamindar fails to pay on 5th day of every month, then their land right ownership was snatched by British authority. There was no provision of relief for the peasant in case of crop failure or any natural calamity. And we had seen that there was no changes in the revenue collection as it was fixed. Now we'll look about the next one, that is Ryotwari settlement. Ryotwari settlement. So the term Ryot means initially peasants. It was introduced as an experiment project by Captain Reed and Thomas Munro in the area of Brahmala, Karnataka, and later it was extended in Madras presidencies and Bombay presidencies. If we talk about the percentage of area that it covered, so 51% of area comes under the Ryotwari settlement. So now we'll see the provision. Revenue right was between peasant and British authority, and the land ownership right was with the Ryot, that is peasant, but the ultimate ownership of the land lies in the hand of British authority. And if peasants fail to pay the revenue, their land ownership right might be snatched by the British authority. And another feature of this Ryotwari settlement is that before imposition of tax, land was surveyed and the total expense of growing the crops were deducted from the total values of crops. For example, if say the crop values is of 1000 rupees and the total expense of growing it is 300, so it will be deducted from the 1000. So revenue collection was imposed on the rest of the amount, that is 700. And the maximum rate of tax was 50%. And its revenue percentage was subject to change after every 30 years. And there was also provision for relief, the provision of relief for peasants during crop failure and natural calamities. Now we'll look about the third and the last, that is Mahalwari settlement. The word Mahal means the group of small villages. These land settlement, Mahalwari settlement, was considered to be the mixture of permanent settlement and the Ryotwari settlement. It was introduced on the recommendation of Holt Mackenzie in the area of western UP, and later it was extended to entire North India. If we talk about the coverage of area, so it includes 30% of British India. Now we'll look about the provisions. So revenue right was negotiated between the village headman and the British authority. Village headman who maintained the Thikedar, Lambardar for the revenue collection, and on the other side there was a British authority. And there was another task assigned to the village headman, that is of land survey and the classification of land. Land ownership right was given to the peasant, like Ryotwari settlement. If peasant failed to pay their land revenue, then their land was snatched. If we talk about what was the mechanism of revenue sharing, then it is 66% for the British authority and the rest, that is 34%, for the revenue collector, which was appointed by the village headman. And this settlement also do not mention any provision for peasant during the time of crop failure and the natural calamity. And the most important provision of these land settlement is the survey and the classification of land and maintenance of land record and the map of land. So guys, I hope you found it informative. Thank you so much.